This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. We are talking about how to create relationships and how to, work with MDX queries. And today, let us talk about one more interesting and simple topic that is called calculations, right? So, why calculations? What are the calculations that we can use? And let us understand details. So we have types of calculations: calculated member, calculated fact or computed columns or derived facts, named sets, new script command, and how can we create the calculations with the help of with or create or with the cube UA, and demos on each one of them. Am I clear? So normally, how are we going to be, creating a cube? Always we build the model. Model means we get the data, we create a relationships in DSV level, and later we build the dimensions, build the cube, build calculations, and deploy the cube, right? So if you wanted to deploy the cube, what is very, very important? So building a calculation is very, very important. So we know how to create a cube. Okay, we knew how to create a cube, what is the dimension, what is the fact, but compulsorily, if you wanted to deploy a cube, creating a calculations are very, very important. Okay, so what is the calculation? Let us understand. Calculations performed at the cell level. It stores a formula, but it will not store the data. It will perform on the fly. Create a calculation means create a formula and use them anywhere. Need not process the cube, only deploy the cube. Calculation is always a measure by default. Calculations are similar to the computed columns. For example, I go to Excel sheet. Okay, I wanted to have some data here. I would like to have some data here. So I wanted to have, let us say, product ID and the product name and the product price and the product quantity. Clear? And I wanted to get a total amount as well. So these are the columns I have. This is a product table. The table name is called what? Product. So let me store some data. I wanted to insert some data into this table. Let us discuss one by one. Product, one, let us say pen. Price is 10 bucks and I need 1000 quantity. What is the total amount I need to pay? I'm going to be writing a formula. How to write a formula in Excel? Always click on the equals to button. Always click on what? Equals to button. And I wanted to take 10 into, I wanted to click on 1000, press enter. Clear? So 10 into 1000, it will be 10,000. So if the price increases tomorrow 12, automatically formula will get executed on the fly. So this is what is my point. Clear? Calculation means I create a formula and it is going to be, working on the fly. Working on the fly means what? Whenever I change the data, automatically the numbers will get changed. Clear? For example, I am not using a formula here. So what is a formula? Formula means the price into quantity is a formula. I am not using the formula here. I am not using the formula. I am simply doing some kind of a calculations elsewhere. I'm writing. I'm simply storing like this. Now tomorrow, if I increase to 15, nothing will change here. Why? Because it is not a formula. It is a data. Clear? If I give a formula here, if you change something, automatically it will get changed. But if I don't do any, if I don't give any formula, how to give a formula? Go here. So click on the price into, click on this. So when you go there, you're able to see this formula. So this is what is called a calculation. So calculation means what? Formula. Calculation means formula. Tomorrow I change this to something else, automatically this will change. I don't need 1000, I needed 1200 items, automatically the number will change. So the price of this is 7 product, 7, and I need only 120. 7 products. So automatically these numbers are getting changed. So what is the meaning of a calculation? Calculation means a formula. So that is what you need to understand. Calculation means formula. So tomorrow I go there to, I'll say pencil. Pencil cost is $4. I need these many things. I go, so I simply go here and drag and drop something. What will get applied? The formula will get applied. So it is not copying the data here, which is copying the formula. What is the formula? Price into quantity. Price into quantity. When you go there, you should be able to get E5. E and this is 5 and F and this is what is 5. So E5 and F5, that is what you should be able to see it here, E5 into F5. So automatically when you create a formula, whenever you load the data into the data warehousing, it is going to be executed on the fly. Okay. So calculation means creating some kind of a formula. For example, I wanted to know what is the profit. For example, I have some products, right? So I would like to have a product name, product, sales price or sales amount we have. We have a sales amount and we are also paying a tax. I wanted to calculate a profit. I would like to calculate a profit for a given product. So product number one, let us say Lux soap. Clear? So sales amount, let us say 1,000 and we paid tax, let us say 90. So what is the profit? Okay. So, or profit, or you can say net sales amount. I would like to have it. If you wanted to have net sales amount, I would like to create a formula. So this minus this. So this is what is called net sales amount. I wanted to get total net sales amount. How do I do? I have to write a formula and take these numbers again. You have to sum it up. Clear? So many times, whatever be the measure that is available in your data warehouse, that is not sufficient to do lot of data analytics. For example, I would like to derive what is the profit. So there is no profit column at all. But how do I tell if somebody asks me what is the profit? I got it last month. Profit is not there in my data warehousing. I have a sales amount and probably tax, a quantity sold, something like that. Using that facts or using that measures, you should be able to derive a new measure using a calculation. Calculation means a formula. Calculation means what? It is a formula. Calculations are the performed at the cell level. So what do you mean by cell level? For example, I go here. When I change something here, it is going to be automatically changed. For example, instead of a 4, if I give 5, so automatically when I come out, it is going to change. So this is going to be happening at the cell level. It is going to be taking the cell 1 and cell 2 and going to do the calculations on the fly. Create a calculation means create a formula and use them anywhere, wherever you would like to have it. Need not process the cube, only deploy the cube, because we are not going to change any data. We are simply writing extra code to the cube. Clear? We're simply writing extra code to the cube. So because of that, you need not process the cube. When do we need to process the cube? If you wanted to process the data, remember this. If you wanted to process the data, if you wanted to do some kind of aggregations and process the data, then only go in for a processing. If you are not touching any data, simply creating a formula and putting the formula into the cube. That means you need not process, simply deploy the cube. And the calculation is always a measure by default. Calculations are similar to the computed columns. For example, I go to SQL Server. I write a lot of calculations, use Amazon, you know, data warehouse. Let me go select from this fact sales. Clear? So I wanted to know some formula. What is the formula? The government of India is asking you have to pay 10% of the tax amount on the sales amount. Clear? So I wanted to know what is that I would like to rate 10% of the sales amount. So sales amount into, let us say, 10 by 100 as a tax amount. Clear? So I don't have a tax at all, but I wanted to derive the tax amount. How do I do that? I create a formula. So this is what is my formula. So this is not a column at all, but when you execute it, it is going to be executing. So on this, I have to pay 90 rupees is the tax. Okay. So what is the net sales? I would like to get it. If I wanted to get the net sales, now what I do, I go to comma and I say sales amount minus. So whatever be the formula, this is the formula I'm going to be using. Okay. So this minus this, I'm going to be giving you net sales. Clear? So like that, I should be able to tell. So total sales is 900 minus 90 and the net sales is 810. Now tell me, is it a measure by default? No, I did not have this measure in my table because my table having only the sales amount. Okay, but the government of India wanted us to pay the minimum 10% of the tax or 18% of the tax. So this is a tax amount that we have to make it. So whenever we collect the amount from the customer, it is inclusive of tax amount. So this is the amount I supposed to pay to the government. So using this, I supposed to create a lot of formula. So this is one formula. This is one more formula. So these formulas are called as calculations. These formulas are called as calculations in our MDX, in our SSAS. Clear? So many times we're going to be deriving or creating this kind of a formula. So to do that, you have to go to calculations and you can create a new calculated member, or you can use new named set, or you can go in for new script command. Clear? So that is what we're going to be discussing one by one. So what are the things? So you can create a new calculated member here, or a new named set here, or you can have a new script command over there. So this is what we're going to be having. And here we can have our dimensions and facts. We can drag and drop and create beautiful calculations. Clear? So calculations are created based on a calculated member or a named sets or a script command. Calculated member are called as a calculated facts, and these are the numerical values. Okay, so named sets and all script command, will discuss them later. Let us concentrate on the calculated member. Clear? So calculation means what? It is a formula. That's what already you knew it, right? So let us understand something here. So these are the part of the measure group defined based on the combinations of base measures, arithmetical conditional operators, functions, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to derive a profit. Just now I had, derived what is called as a tax, right? I derived net sales amount. Clear? So all these things are your calculated members or measures. Measure means what? A numerical value, but I don't have this value in my data warehousing. Am I clear? So now, how can we create with the help of a syntax? We can use with the member calculation name as expression format string, and we can create a calculation. Clear? So you should be able to call as part of your, MDX query. So I would like to go to my SQL Server. Now this is how you're going to be doing in your RDBMS, right? Now I would like to create the same formula in my OLAP in my Cube database as well. Go to analysis services. Now click on connect. Now go to databases. Now, how can we create? So to create this, we can use actually three steps. One is that we can create the calculation. We can create the calculation with the help of a with, or you can also create a calculation with the help of a create, or you can also create a calculation with the help of a cube UI. So I'm going to be using with now. Clear? So let me go there, and I wanted to create this one like this. So I say go here. So I'm writing a calculation now. I'll say with, always you need to say with what? You can give any name. So you can say with member This is syntax. Okay, with member. See now, with member, and you need to give the name of the calculation. For example, I wanted to have name of the calculation as a tax. Okay, so after that, what are we going to be having? After that, as and the calculation and blah blah blah. So I wanted to say as, what is that? I will go here, drag and drop sales amount into what is the tax? 10%, 10 by 100. Clear? So this is how you should be able to create 10 by 100. So now I would like to call this as part of my, okay, call the above formula calculation in MDX query, because you are creating, you would like to call that. Select from the cube name. I wanted to have the sales amount. Okay, let me say on 0. And I wanted to have the product wise sales amount, product name. Okay, so this is a simple query without calling calculation. Let me execute this. Now I'm able to get very beautiful query and non-empty. Okay, I'm able to get the data, but now I need to get the sales amount as well as I wanted to get the tax. So how do I write? Comma tax, because calculations are always measures by default. If you wanted to attach a measure, so you can also attach like this, measures dot tax. If you wanted to attach, you can attach. So you should be able to call the same thing here. Otherwise, simply you put a tax. Anything is fine, right? So when you say with member, it is by default. You can say simply tax, or you can say measures dot tax. So this is going to be having a same path. So this is what is called a set. Set means I have to close the bracket here. Now I want to execute this. Now this is the sales amount and this is a tax I'm going to be paying. So tax means what is the 10% of the tax? Now this is how the tax is got calculated on the fly. Clear? So this is how we are going to be doing in our SQL queries. And this is how, if you wanted to write a formula, you should be able to write the formula here. Clear? So now the problem is that I wanted to create one more MDX query. Okay. So here I wanted to use not the product wise, I wanted to have the, let us say, uh, location wise or the customer wise, what is the amount they paid. Okay, if I am executing like this, it is going to work perfectly fine. Now same calculation, what is the calculation name? Tax. That I am also calling here. I wanted to have customer wise what is the sales amount and what is the tax they paid. What is the tax? Tax I have declared it here. I declared it here. I can use it here without having any issue. I wanted to also use it in one more query. So let me execute. When I execute, see what is happening. First is that I need to put go. Okay. I have to put go and execute it. I wanted to execute this. Now see what happens. You are able to get result set, but it is saying the next one is the number was not found in the queue. Okay, it is saying this is not found. What was not found? So measures.text is not found. Why? Because when you create any calculation with the help of this syntax, what syntax it is? It is with the help of with syntax. Okay, with syntax, when you create, you can only use in one query and you need to execute both of them simultaneously. Okay, and you will not be able to execute in second query, because when you create this, the usage is only once. Okay, the scope is you can use only once, only in the single query. In the single query only, you can use it. You will not be able to use it in multiple queries. For example, I'm creating this. I'm going to be using it here. It is working fine, right? So now I wanted to use it here as well in one more query, so that it is not going to work it out. When I execute both of them, it is going to be failing. Now see now, it is going to give you the tax member was not found in the cube. Clear? So that is what is the issue. For example, tomorrow I wanted to create one more calculation in your MDX queries. For example, I would like to display some default value, simply 0. I would like to, say GST. What is GST? Let us say 18%. I would like to display this number. So how do I display? So you need to go and simply take this and go here. Okay, let me execute this. Now see, you will be able to get a default value 18. Clear? So this is how, if you wanted to display 18, or if you wanted to display 0, or anything, if you wanted to display it, you should be able to display it. So this is how you need to create a calculation only. Without a calculation, you will not be able to get at all. Clear? So what is a GST? GST is a calculation which is not available in your data warehousing. You can have any kind of a calculation. For example, I can have with member. I can have with member, let us say, sales amount into 100. So this is a GST. This is a GST, or you can say net sales. Okay, you should be able to get the things like this. It is your net sales into 100. We can create any type of the formula. There is no problem here. You create only once. You should be use. You can create once and use in only once within the single query. You will not be able to use the same calculation in the next query. The usage is only once. That is also within the single query. Single query you can use. Single query usage. Now, to overcome this, we can use what is called as create syntax. Clear? For example, I wanted to now say create member. Okay, what is the cube name? Cube name dot, let us say, GST as. Okay, what is the GST? GST is sales amount into, let us 10 by 100. So this is what is the sales amount. Clear? So this is what I would like to create with the help of a creating a syntax. So I'm creating a calculation only I'm creating, but the syntax is something different. I wanted to execute this first. Okay, executed, run complete. So once you execute, let me call this. Let me go back, and now I wanted to call this. What is my this one? It is what is called GST, right? So now I go there. So by default, which is measure by default, right? So I'll say GST. I should be able to execute it here. Okay. This will give me a customer name wise sales. Control C and Control V. I wanted to use not only customer name wise, I would like to have the product wise as well. Okay. Let me execute. Okay, so I'm able to get the GST. I'm able to use GST in this MDX query. as well as in this MDX query, I can also run this parallelly. You should not run with this because already this is useless, right? So this is useless. Already you have executed. You cannot execute once again here. Okay, it will give you already it exists. Okay, you cannot create, but you can execute these two things at a time. Now you should be able to get two things. One is GST customer level, second GST at the product level. So create once and call multiple times. Create once, call multiple times. I'm able to call the GST here. I would like to go and take this query to the one more window. Okay, new window. I wanted to go and try to execute this. Now it is telling me GST is not available, not found. Clear? So these are the interview questions you will be getting it. Okay, so whenever you create a calculation with the help of a with member. So what is the scope? Query scope. Only within the query you can call. So the next one is we are going to be creating, we are going to be creating where with the help of a create syntax. Create syntax. So here many times, but where within the window. This is window scope. Within the window, you can call multiple times. Within the window, you can call multiple times, but you cannot go to new window. You will not be able to get. So I will not be able to call the GST here. Clear? So that is the issue. Now I go to cube. I go to the cube. I wanted to create a member. Okay. So the name I'll give say GST new. I'm giving GST new. This is the name I'm going to be creating with the help of Cube UI, and it is a measure. And what is the expression I would like to write? So this will be sales amount, drag and drop sales amount into, let us say, 10%. Like that, I'm going to be giving the formula. Now that's it, nothing else. So I have given the name and this is the formula. So what I told you, whenever you create, what you do, you need not process the cube, simply deploy the cube. Okay. Now I have created the formula, that is the calculation. I wanted to deploy. I don't want to process it. Now you go to the browser, you go to the browser. Now you should be able to reconnect always. I told you, right? Reconnecting is very, very important. Now you go, what is that I would like to see? Now sales amount I wanted to have it, as well as GST also you can have it. See now, I would like to see a product name where you are able to get the sales amount and the GST as well. GST is available here because which is created with the help of UI. Now I go here, I simply say no. Okay. Now I click on this. Now you should be able to get this. Okay. So now you can write it here. You can write anywhere, wherever you would like to write it. You should be able to also get it here. If you wanted to get the GST new, so you go and get GST new. Okay. You can also get the GST. GST means we have created here. This is GST. Clear? So GST new, I would like to have it. And GST also, I would like to have it. Now I wanted to execute this query. So you will be able to get. Now Control C. I have to refresh the cube, okay, because I have done some cube deployments, right? It is asking me to refresh the cube. That's it, nothing else. Okay. I go, I disconnect and I connect. I go here. I wanted to go back and write the same thing. What is that I would like to have it? I would like to have the tax and I want to have both of them. Clear? So I need to take this. Okay. So now since we have closed the window, this earlier we have created this, right? This would have been dropped. I would like to create once again. So now it is created. So this is already created in the cube UA. Just now I have created this and I want to execute this now. Clear? So you should be able to get the GST new that is coming from the cube. And this is here I have created. So when I close the window, this will be getting dropped automatically. Clear? So this will not be there in the cube permanently. If you wanted to see something permanently, you need to go and see the measures. You will be able to get a GST new here because we have created as part of our cube UA. Clear? So calculations you can create as part of cube UA. When you create here, what is the advantage? Okay, when you use cube UI, the advantage at server level, anybody can, the scope is server level scope. Anybody can access it. Okay, we can access in your MDX query. I can access in my MDX query. Wherever we write MDX queries, these calculation can be accessible to all. Clear? So this is one interview question. Whenever we create a calculated member or calculations, when you use with syntax, what will happen? When I use a create syntax, what will happen? When I use a cube UI and create a calculation, what will happen? So these are the three things that you have to know. Clear? So you can also create one more calculation. For example, you go here, click on this. You can create any calculation. What is a calculation? For example, I would like to create one more member called profit. Okay. So profit means I can have a sales amount minus something, minus minus, let us say, some 100. So this is what is my formula. Okay. So this is what is my formula. So I would like to get this as a profit. Now, as soon as you create it, so what you do, you go there and simply deploy. Okay. So you need to deploy the cube without fail. So no need of processing. Go to browser and simply click on this and click on connect. Clear? You should be able to find your profit as well here, and you should be able to go and refresh and reconnect. You will be able to get the same thing here as well. Clear? That is what is very, very important. So do we have any refresh button? So we need to close and open it. There is no refresh button given. So when you close and open it, you should be able to get the next profit also will be available here, and that you should be able to use it anywhere. Clear? So this is very, very important. Now I can also give what is called as a format string. Clear? So format string we did not apply. So where is the format string available? When you go to your calculation, you can see a lot of format strings. Have you seen this here? When you go here, so there is no format string. So GST, I wanted to apply a currency. That is my format string. For profit also, I wanted to apply a format string called what? A currency. Like that, you can apply. Whenever you change something, what you need to do? You have to go there and redeploy the cube once again. Okay, so I wanted to go and let me close this and reconnect it once again. So you should be able to get all the profits and everything here. Let me click on connect. Now we should be able to see GSTs. You should be able to see profit and GST. Now I wanted to execute this. When I execute it, you will be able to see the currency symbol here, and there is no currency symbol. Why? Because GST have created, I did not give any kind of a currency symbol. I did not add it there. If you add the currency symbol, you should be able to add it. If you want to have it, you can say comma, you can say format string, okay, is equals to whatever be the currency symbol. Currency symbol is currency. I would like to have this currency symbol. Okay, then you should be able to get this. Now let me create a GST, not GST. I wanted to have let us say tax, something like this. I would like to have tax, and I would like to create, and already GST we have created. Now I wanted to call this tax here. Let me execute it. Now you should be able to have, let me execute this. Okay, already created. Let me demo this for some time, and let me try to execute this. When I execute Amazon sales queue, what happened up there? What is happened here? Let me go and try to create select from the cube name. I wanted to have sales amount, comma, GST new, comma, this one. So all these are measures only, right? So even though I rate a measure here or not, it is a measure. Okay. On 0, let me try to execute this. Okay. Have you seen you are able to get with the currency symbol? How come? Because you have given the format string here. Okay. When you give the format string, automatically you will be able to get the currency symbol. If you don't give any currency, then it will give you different things. Clear? Now, I wanted to create something else here. I'll say with member. Okay. With member, I'll say some net profit. I'm going to be creating some net profit into minus some 100. So I'm not going to be using this. So simply I say net profit. Okay. I'm able to get net profit here. So I wanted to apply some format string. So you can say format underscore string is equivalent to, lot of options are available. Okay. So I wanted to go and give this kind of a currency symbol, Control C and Control V. Clear? I wanted to get a 2 digits. Okay, either minus or a plus. I would like to get the 2 digits. So there is no digits here. I would like to get the 2 digits means you have to put like this. So you should be able to identify two digits here. Clear? If you need more digits, you can have like this. People may ask you, I want to give some kind of a formatting strings, 3 digits, 1 digit, 4 digits like that. You should be able to perform this kind of a, things at the formatting string level. Clear? If you don't write anything or if you give simply a currency, to give a currency means by default you will be able to get dollar symbols. Clear? So that is how some formatting strings are available that we can use. If you need percentage, so percentage can be created. You just go there and this is what is called a percentage. So the value will be shown in the percentage level. Okay. So this is what is the percentage. It is going to give you the percentage symbol. Clear? So that is what. So you can have a lot of other things if it is a long date, short date, zero, this one, that one. If it is standard format. What is the standard format? Let us see. It will give you standard format. Whatever you would like to have it, you should be able to have it. It is a standard, display. So you need to put comma here. Many people will come to me and ask me, sir, it is not working for me. It is not going to work because you did not put comma here. Clear? After as you write your statement and put the comma and format string. If the format string is not there, remove the comma. Format string is not important for us, right? Format string is not there. You should be able to write like this and try to execute it. So these are the formatting strings. Clear? So it is very, very important. You can also create a separate folder. For example, if you go to browser, so this is what is called a folder, right? So I can create this kind of a folder. Let me go to calculations. So this measure should be in a folder. The folder name is called profit folder. Okay, profit. Now you should also go. It should be in the profit folder. Okay. Now you go there and you should be able to simply deploy the cube. You close, you go to browser, you reconnect, you should be able to see a folder. Okay. One is called a profit folder, the second one is sales folder. Within the profit, you will have these two calculations. Nobody knows whether it is a calculation or whether it is predefined measure. Okay, so this is the quantity sold and the sales amount and this one. So you can create at the server level as well as at the your cube level as well as your with the help of a syntax and other stuff. Clear, guys? Let me go there. Let us go forward. So we have created with the help of cube UI as well, right? So when you create with the help of with scope is a query level scope. When you create with the help of a query, create scope is the window level. Cube UI means scope is the cube level. Now calculation can be done on one more calculation. Clear? So I'm going to be creating a calculation here and I would like to use calculation on one more calculation. That also you can do it. For example, I have created, now let me go here and I wanted to create a calculation. What is the calculation I'm going to be taking now? I wanted to take a profit into, okay, profit into 10 by 100. So I am creating a new calculation on the existing calculation. Clear? So this is what I wanted to have it. So that is also can be done creating a calculation on a calculation. I need to close everything and open it because I have redeployed the cube, right? So that is what is an issue every time redeploying. Okay. Now I wanted to create a calculation. This is a calculation and I created this calculation on the existing calculation. That is also can be done. So that is what is this point. Clear? Now, complex calculations on the sales percentage, I would like to have it. Clear? If I wanted to get the sales percentage, so how do I get the sales percentage? Can you tell me? So if I wanted to get what is the percentage of the sales, I would like to get the my sales and based on the dim product sales. For example, I have a product A sales, product B sales, and product C sales. Okay. So A is sold for $10 billion. This sales is for $12 billion, and this is for $10 billion. So you will have a all member, right? So all means 10 plus 10, 20, and 22, right? I wanted to calculate what is the share of A. So what we can do, we can drag and drop the product A and divide it by its parent. Its parent will give you the total, that is 22. 10 by 22 into 100. So that is the formula here. Okay. So product, which product you would like to get it and how you would like to have it. This we can see it on Monday's class, and you create a simple calculations, and we'll work on the complex calculations on Monday's class. Thank you guys. Any other questions?